Hi, I'm Camila Torres.
And I'm Nick D'Angeli.
And you're watching Burnaby Connect. Does it seem fishy to you that we're animals?
Well, that's because we're about to embark on an adventure, and this month's theme is animals and us.
Sometimes it's hard being a pet because it's nearly impossible to get outside.
Exactly. We can get pretty catastrophic if we can't go outside.
A pandemonium.
There's this one dog walker. She's a professional. Legend says she's very philosophical. See for yourself.
Sit. Hi, I'm Stephanie, and my company is West Coast Dog Walking. So my company offers 90-minute hikes all over West Van. I have a pit bull, a chihuahua, and a Pomeranian. And then I walk everybody else's dogs, and then I go home and have to walk all of mine. They definitely get jealous. Oftentimes, I think when people are working 9 to 5s, they don't have the ability to give their dogs all the exercise that they actually need. So hiring a dog walker gives you the ability to be at work and not worry about making sure your dog's exercised and happy. I think it's really important that dogs get lots of exercise, especially depending on their age. It helps with all kinds of behavioral issues. So also just allowing them to kind of just be a dog and just do things like this makes a big difference. Come on, guys. No. Come on. I think owning a dog is a lot more of a responsibility than people expect. And there's so many dogs in the shelter where it's simply because people didn't, take the time to think about how much work needs to be put into having a pet, especially a dog. So, yeah, I think people underestimate it a lot. I would say the most rewarding part about walking dogs is that you know that you are getting them out of their normal routine. They're so excited and happy when I come pick them up, and they're so ready to play and have fun. I definitely think that it's really important for people to have good relationships, or at least respect animals. You don't have to be a dog person, but I think animals can be really therapeutic in a variety of ways. And it's amazing how much they understand and how much, just from spending so much time with dogs all day, how much they understand my body movements, just inflections in my voice. They seem to really get more than you think. So yeah, I think it's really important.
Did you hear about that dog who died in the car accident?
Totally. At least it wasn't on purpose.
You know what is on purpose, though? People who either leave or surrender their pets on the SPCA. It's saddening.
It really is. You can't miss this next segment on SPCA.
My name is Charlotte Ellis. I'm the branch manager for the Vancouver BC SPCA shelter. With the Langley 66, we received, I believe, 49 of the dogs at our location, and they came in after a call had been made by a member of the public who had gone to purchase one of the pups and had noticed some concerning welfare issues with the dogs, and that's when we received a call, and cruelty officers went in and made their investigation, and that's when these animals were seized and then brought into our branch. So for the dogs that we received here at the Vancouver branch, a number of them required immediate grooming, shaving. They were heavily matted, had caked in feces, urine, required bathing, had broken teeth through chewing on crates. Some of them needed immediate eye surgery, ear surgery. Most of them had ear infections. So they really required a lot of medical care when they first came into us. Since then, we've been able to provide the health and the medical care that these dogs have needed. And the community's been amazing. The community's really pulled together. You can definitely see around me there's blankets and towels and food that's been donated, donations of money to help with medical care, and just support. Volunteer hours, staff have been working around the clock. We've just been working tirelessly to care for these this mass amount of dogs that we've had in. So one of the dogs from the Langley 66 group, Maddie, a Wheaton, a young adult, she came into us one of the most matted out of all of them. She was sedated and matted the very next day. She had feces clumped all over her, and she required a dental, so we had her at the time of spay also had a dental cleaning. She also had sores all over her body as well. And that was just from the unkempt coat, as well as ongoing ear infections since she's been with us. But now she's on the mend. She has been shaved and bathed. She's had a dental polish, and her skin is looking good, and her ears are on the road to recovery. So. She is up for adoption right now, so we are looking for a special kind of home with Maddie, and she is one of the dogs that we featured in our information session as being available for adoption. So we do have some interested applicants that we are vetting right now, but we are still hoping to find her perfect match. We're hoping in the course of the next few weeks that some of the other dogs will become available for adoption, and as soon as they do, we'll be holding a second information session for those that are interested in adopting. Yeah, so we definitely suggest that anyone that is concerned about the condition of an animal, the environment they're living in, any safety concerns of that animal, they can certainly give our 1-800 cruelty hotline a call. They're open 7 days a week, and they will definitely take the call, and we will send out a cruelty officer to have a look and investigate.
I've always wanted to go to Los Angeles and I've never had time to go.
Well, look no further, because we have Ernest Ng's cinematography project coming up next. Come on, I'll pack a lunch.
You're such a dear.
Snailed it. You know, it'd be cool having a pet snake.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I know someone who actually has a few exotic pets. Here she is.
My name is Val Laufendahl, and I'm the founder of Reptile Rescue Adoption and Education Society. I basically run the rescue with board members and just take care of the reptiles that come into our care. Most of the reptiles we're getting in now are abandoned or strays. We started this officially in 2003, but we started taking in reptiles that people didn't want, I think in 1996. We started taking in the reptile end of it and registered as a nonprofit society. We like to educate people on the different species and what makes good pets and what doesn't, how to proper handling, proper caging, and just basic husbandry for the animals. Reptiles make good pets because people that have allergies to fur-bearing animals like dogs and cats or even rodents, but really want a pet, reptiles fit in nicely. Reptiles don't require the amount of time that you need to spend with like a dog or a cat. They don't show compassion and love and that a dog would. They're nice to handle in the evenings when you want to relax and watch TV. You take out your snake and just let it move around on you. The biggest problem with running this is finding good quality homes that are willing to take the animals for the rest of their lives. Reptiles can live like more than 15 years because they've already been passed around and or left out in the wild to fend for themselves, and so we just don't want to see that. That's our biggest problem, I guess.
Have you heard of my new album, Goats in the Ghetto?
Yeah, it's the most hysterical and sealist album I've ever heard.
But not irrelevant.
Not amusing either. Up next, we have Michelle Lynn performing And It Won't Be Rough.
My name is Victor, and this is Blanca, and she's one of our newest birds. So she's been here about 5 months now, and we got her actually from our vet. She was one of our vet's birds, and she is a rescue as well. So 10 out of the 12 birds that we have, the large birds, are rescue, and so it's quite nice. But she's just an absolutely amazing bird. This is like a year to 2 years worth of work to get her this far, and she came, almost this exact same way. She's just absolutely the loveliest thing. I mean, there's a couple of different things about the importance of a conservatory like this. First of all, is the plants themselves. I mean, there's plants here that are nowhere else in the world except for where they're actually from. So people get to see them, and I think if you can see things, you can appreciate things more. One of their problems is that they just live so long. And so your life may change several times in their life. We have actually a very large variety of birds. So we have 12 large birds. So this is, like I say, this is Blanca. She's an umbrella cockatoo. So we have 4 different types of cockatoos. We have probably about 100 small birds. We do get birds every once in a while. We have some people that actually give them to us, as well as we purchase birds as well. This is a very unique place. We have people that come here that will sit down for half an hour, read a book, and leave. We have people that will come here every single day. It's part of their walk. We have people that have never been here in their whole life, and they live a few blocks away. I think it just gives them a chance to sort of see, what there is out there. We have people that come here and they'll tell you, it's like being on a trip. It's like, going to someplace else in the world. And it is gorgeous. It's a beautiful temperature, and it's that temperature all year round. So when it's boiling hot outside, it's this beautiful temperature in here. When it's freezing cold outside, it's beautiful in here. So it's a very nice place to come and visit.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah, Camila?
I was wondering what society thinks of the relationships of animals and us.
Well, have no fear. Up next, we have people on the street giving their opinions without even battering an eye.
Perfect.
When I see wildlife, I guess I feel closer to nature and like a little bit, it makes me happier, I guess, It kind of makes your day.
Well, it definitely reminds me of Canada, which is great. I mean, being here and seeing that kind of wildlife makes you feel good. Being in the tourism industry, tourists, that's what they want to see. So, experiencing those encounters is very beneficial to myself.
I get happy. Like whenever I see a bird or a raccoon or anything, it just makes me feel a little more in touch with nature, and I think it's really important.
There's a quote by Robert Bateman, and he said that when you go for a walk in the woods, you get more out of it than the woods does. So it's good for you and good for the woods because you give them carbon dioxide. And when you go out in the woods, you see wildlife.
I don't personally go out of my way to see wildlife, but when I spend time in nature, it's definitely an upside to it.
Quite often, actually. Had a great encounter this morning, just down by the Harbour Air Base, just on the front of Canada Place. Actually got to see a battle between some seagulls and an eagle over a soulfish that had popped up onto the deck.
Like wildlife? Well, I make birds a lot. I get to see it like every day in my backyard, but...
Well, sometimes I'll go to a wildlife sanctuary where there's a bird watching and take my binoculars and look for birds. And I live close to a trail, so every day when I'm walking the trail, I look for wildlife.
And really interesting. Long story short, eagle made away with the fish. Much bigger bird, of course. But definitely was really great to see, and it's inspiring, definitely.
Get to see wildlife. Not a whole lot. I live in the city, but I have a yearly subscription to the aquarium, so that's where I go the most to see my wildlife. I guess it's not very wild then, but...
Tale as old as time.
Oh man, you singing again?
What's that supposed to mean?
You sound hoarse.
Speaking of which, we got therapeutic horseback riding coming up next. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Nick, please. You're gonna krill me.
My name is Michelle Ingall, and I'm the Executive Director here at Pacific Riding for Developing Abilities in Langley. horseback riding is riding for people with disabilities. We've got adults and children here from the ages of 3 all the way up to 70, and anyone with a diagnosis can participate. For example, autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, multiple sclerosis, even anxiety, learning disabilities, cancer, anything like that. Therapeutic horseback riding has many, many benefits. The most obvious benefits are physical benefits, especially in young children with a physical disability. And the reason for that is that a horse, the motion of the horse's walk mimics a human walk. The only difference is they have 4 legs and we have 2. So for a young child in a wheelchair, for example, that can't get that trunk control and that balance and that coordination that they need to be able to walk and to get out of that wheelchair, they're not able to get that physical therapy except on the back of a moving horse. So that's one of the best physical benefits, obviously. The other part of it are the emotional benefits and psychological benefits. People really bond with their horses, and it's a real joy to see them grow and progress. They gain self-confidence, they gain self-esteem, and they have access to sport and recreation, which is really important for anybody. Because horses are prey animals, they're vulnerable animals, and because of that, they can really bond and really connect with the students that ride them. They always find something really unique. The riders really find something unique in that horse, something that they can relate to, and they work as a partnership. They work as a team together to reach their goals, and it's really fascinating to see them. We try to keep them on the same horse for as long as possible in order to achieve as many goals as they can with that particular horse.
You're lying.
I'm telling you, some people feel that humanity doesn't always meet the qualifications of raising pets properly.
Does it look like I give a damn?
Kind of.
We'll see what Gabriel Chan says next up with the rant.
Well, I'll trust what he says, because he's not a cheetah.
Pets. Pets. What are pets? They're like raising children, but not quite. Let me explain. With everything, there are pros and cons. Let's start with the pros. Keeping a pet as a pro, it can help benefit you. It can help you physically, emotionally, mentally, and also it's better to keep them than having a life of being raised in a farm factory or being tested for experiments. Oh, watch your first step, by the way. However, there are some cons. Some would argue that we're in a sense dictators in pets' lives, as they have to obey our commands, sit, roll over, play dead. They also have to go around our schedule of when we want them to eat, drink, and relieve themselves, and also let them out of their cages. Speaking of cages. Sometimes the cages are too small. On top of that, theoretically, pets are supposed to receive that unconditional love or the care, but sometimes pets have to go through abandonment, neglect, cruelty. So what's the solution to this problem? Well, it's really up to you. Next time you want to adopt or buy a pet, just think, are you willing to spend all that time, money, and energy? Maybe at first, but if you really think of it, on the off days where you don't want to and you're just not having a good day, are you still willing to spend all that money, time, and energy? If you are, go for it. If not, maybe reevaluate yourself, think of it, and just make the right decision. And this is Gabriel Chan, signing off.
Well, that's all we got for today.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Bye-bye now.